It's Dr. Mellon coming at you with some orientation information that you need to know as we begin the 2020-2021 school year. I hope you've had the opportunity to check out our orientation website. There are lots of important information on there that you can use that will help answer many of the questions that you may have. You can check out our student handbook, and remember that on that handbook, the policies and procedures that are very specific for our Plan B reentry have been highlighted for you in red. You also can see our some frequently asked questions at the bottom that may help you with some specific concerns or questions that you have already. So let's talk about our vision. Our vision at Bessemer City Middle School is to provide a welcoming environment that cultivates learning and inspires the choice to succeed. We talk a lot about how to succeed, and we say that at BCMS, we choose success. One of the most important things that I hope our students learn before they leave us is that success does not come from one big major act. Success is a series of small choices that lead you in the right direction. So please, we hope you're making good choices so that you can be a big success. Every day we talk about how to roar, that we respect ourselves and others, that we have outstanding achievement, we always act safely and reach for success. Now let's talk about some of the important people for you to know as you begin the 2020-2021 school year. First of all, your principal. The proudest principal in Gaston County is Dr. Mellon. Also, we have an assistant principal, Mr. McGuire. Mr. McGuire will be serving our 7th grade students and half of 6th grade. Mr. Boone is our other assistant principal, and he will be serving 8th grade students as well as 6th grade. And we have Miss Osborne, who is our school counselor, and she works with Mr. McGuire, so she serves 7th grade students and part of 6th grade. And then Dr. Dixon, who then serves 8th grade and part of 6th grade. So all of those people will be a very strong support for you to help with anything you need. Now let's talk about some of the middle school words to know. You'll hear us refer to core classes, and core just means the core academic subjects of math, language arts, science, and social studies. We also have encore classes. Encore is used to refer to classes that you may have called specials in elementary school. So like your computer class or maybe PE. The only difference in middle school is that those special classes, which we call encore, you get to have those every day of the week. So that's something pretty cool in middle school that you don't necessarily have in elementary school. So when we say encore, we mean art, Spanish, basically anything other than math, language arts, science, and social studies. We also have an advisory class, and you'll find out that that advisory teacher is very important because that's kind of your starting point for every day. That's your home base. That's where you go to get a lot of information, but also if you can just remember your advisory teacher's name, you're going to be good to go for the rest of the day because then we'll make sure you get to where you need to be. And then we also use the term semester. Our school year is divided into 2 semesters. So first semester is from August until January. And then second semester picks up from January until the end of the school year. So you'll hear us talk about first semester and second semester. And the only reason that we divide it into semesters is that it helps us to change your encore classes. So you'll have 2 encore classes for the first semester, and then you'll have 2 different encore classes for the second semester. Other than that, everything else pretty much stays the same on your schedule. So let's talk about schedules. If you have not already gotten your schedule, you will be able to pick that up on Tuesday, August the 11th in our drive-through schedule pickup. We will send out information about that on a parent link message, so make sure that you either check our social media or check that message so that you know what time to come and pick up your schedule. You can also get your schedule by looking at your Power School home base, so you can find your schedule there as well. And we're going to look at a sample schedule, and I'll give you some of the key information that you need to make sure that you've looked for and that you can remember on that first day. So this is a typical schedule, and if you look right here, it says semester 1. This just means it's showing the classes that this student's going to take for the first semester. Now I told you the most important name for you to remember is your advisory teacher. If you can't remember anything else on your schedule, that's fine. As long as you can get to your first advisory, everything else will take care of itself, I promise. So this student starts their class with Miss Swick in advisory, and you'll see that these are the order in which their classes will go. So this child starts with advisory, where we do homeroom, and then they have math, science, ELA, which is English Language Arts. This person has visual arts and computer science discoveries for their encore classes. Now these 2 classes, visual arts discovery and computer science, These 2 classes that student will have for first semester, and then second semester there will be 2 different classes in those spots, and everything else will remain the same. When you pick up your schedule, you'll also have a couple things written on there. We'll say you will see which group you are in for school attendance for the AB days. So this person is in group A, and you'll see that we've had on their schedule that they will attend school on Monday and Tuesday. We also will indicate your team name on your schedule. So this particular student is on the Cougars team, and that means that their team of teachers will be the same as anybody else that's on that Cougars team. So that's the important thing to remember about your schedule. Please make sure that you listen for your message or check our social media so that you can come and pick yours up on Tuesday, the 11th. And then if not, go ahead and make sure that you've logged into your home base and you viewed your schedule there. Now, if you look in home base, it probably will not have these things written on there because we're going to add those for students who pick up their schedules. But just remember that the district has divided our 2 cohorts. The students that attend on Monday and Tuesday have last names that start with A through L, and group B are students who attend on Thursday and Friday. So if you're in group B, your name would begin with M through Z. So if you have any questions about that, please feel free to call the school. Okay, now as you're preparing for your first day of school, let's talk about what you guys think is the most important, and that's what to wear. So we want to make sure that every day you dress for success. You're not going out to the beach, so you don't need to wear your bathing suit. You're not going to play basketball out on the court, so you don't need to wear your gym shorts and tank tops. You're coming to school, so we want you to look like a student. We want you to dress like a scholar. So make sure that you dress for success. You should make sure that there's no skin showing from about mid-chest to mid-thigh, and that goes for girls and boys. So we don't want low-cut shirts. We don't want spaghetti straps, and we don't want those gym shirts that show all your armpits. Nobody needs to see that. So make sure that you're covered from mid-chest to about mid-thigh. And we don't suspend kids for dress code. We try to make you change it or fix it so that you can go back to class. But oftentimes when students get in trouble, it's because when they're redirected about their dress code, they're not always respectful about that. So just if we say that we need to change it, all we got to do is find a way to make it work and we can go on back to class. So also with your clothing, no offensive pictures or language on those things. And that also applies to your face mask that you'll be wearing this year. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. Also, no headgear such as hats, toboggans, beanies, and make sure that if you have a hoodie that your hood is off throughout the school day. We want to make sure that we can see your face and easily identify you for security purposes. And then each day you'll also wear your face mask. That is something that's new this year because of our Plan B re-entry. So please make sure that you bring your face mask. If you forget it, we will have extras that we can provide for you. But also keep in mind that your face mask must meet those guidelines set out in our Gaston County School Code of Conduct. They can't have a bandana pattern, nothing inappropriate or distracting. If they are, then we'll just simply ask you to take it off and take it back home, and we'll give you one to wear throughout the day. Okay, so now what do you need to bring to school? Now that you're dressed, you got to remember what you got to bring with you. So let me just go ahead and tell you now, you will need a pencil every day. Sometimes kids show up to school without pencils and I just don't understand it. Every day you're going to need a pencil, so make sure you have one. Also bring your book bag. This year we won't be using lockers because we don't want you gathering in the hallway and we don't want to have to clean those lockers every day. So instead of spreading germs, we've decided you can bring your book bag and you'll be able to carry those in the classroom. But please know that your book bag is subject to search every morning and throughout the day. So make sure that you don't bring any other prohibited items. Also, we encourage you all to have headphones. Those are necessary because we are doing virtual learning, and Bluetooth headphones are okay, but please make sure you bring them each day. You can bring your cell phones to school, but there are limits. When your cell phone comes into the school, it must be turned off, not just on silent, and it has to be tucked away in your book bag where no one can see it. If it is seen or visible throughout the day, teachers will take it to the front office so that a parent can come pick it up. So please make sure that you turn it off when you come in and that you put it away and you don't mess with it through the day. Also, make sure you bring your face mask and bring your Chromebook. All students will be given a Chromebook to be able to do their virtual learning days, but also you need to bring that to school with you each day because you'll still be using it in class. All right, arriving to school. It will look a little bit different this year because of some of the procedures that we have to put in place to keep you safe. So car riders are going to enter the school campus using the South Gold Street entrance. And this is the same as last year, but once you get here, things are a little bit different. And here you can see South Gold Street is right off Skyline Avenue. There are two entrances that get you to the school. This is E.D. Wilson Road, and this road right here goes directly to our bus lot, and we want to avoid having parent vehicles come through here because we want to keep our buses safe. So you'll come through this entrance on South Gold Street. As you come down, you'll turn to the right and go around the car rider loop. And then our cars stop right here, and this is where car riders will enter the school building this year. Once your car pulls into the line, and this here is a canopy that covers the sidewalk, so it'll be very clear once you pull in where to go. Students will be stopped, and you will not get out of your car until someone comes and takes your temperature. Your temperature will be checked, and then you will be given permission to go into the building. Okay, so as we said before, all car riders are to remain in their car until they've had their temperature checked, and then students who have a temperature of over 100.5 will be directed to leave with their parents and won't be permitted to come into the school building. After your screening, then you'll enter the building through the double doors at the end of the car rider line. And as you enter, there will be metal detection, and then there'll be a grab and go breakfast. So you may get selected to have your bag checked, and if not, then you'll be told to go on and grab your breakfast and head to class. So you'll grab your breakfast and then walk directly to your advisory class. So that's why that name is so important on your schedule. If you don't remember anything else, come to school knowing your advisory teacher, and then we can get you directly to class. Okay, now let's talk about bus riders. So bus riders will be picked up at their stops, and we will be calling and letting you know your bus number, and your bus stop time on the week of August 10th. So once you get on the bus, you have to have your face mask on, and you'll be sitting one person to a seat unless you have a sibling or someone else that lives in your house, then you guys can sit in a seat together. But you will be entering the school building through the gym. When you come through the gym after you get off the bus, you have to have your temperature taken. If your temperature is below 100.5, then you'll be told to go grab your breakfast and go directly to your advisory class. You will not go and wait in the gym as we have in years past. Now, if you have a fever that is over, or a temperature that is over 100.5, then you'll be taken to wait for someone to come and pick you up. Now, once you get into class changes will be very easy for you this year, because when you are in your core classes, you will not have to change from class to class. Your core teachers will be rotating into each of your classes. So that way we prevent you from having to get up and go to a table where someone else has been sitting, so that we don't spread additional germs. The only time you will be moving from your core class to another class is when you go to Encore. And our Encore teachers will actually come down, they'll pick you up, and then they'll walk you to your Encore class. So that's a great thing for sixth graders, because you don't ever have to worry about trying to find your class by yourself. Someone will be there to take you, show you where the classroom is, and then to bring you right back to where you started from. So the only time you will change will be in Encore. And students, we will be needing your help. Once you're in Encore classes, before you leave, one of the things that you'll do is to assist in sanitizing your desk and workspace so it's ready for the next group. As we said before, all students will receive a Chromebook to use during the 2020-2021 school year. You'll be using this not only for your remote learning at home, but also when you're here face-to-face in the school building. So please make sure that you bring your Chromebook with you each day, and that it's charged when you arrive to school, so you'll be prepared and ready to do your classwork as well as your remote learning days. We've already mentioned that students will not be issued a locker, so your book bag will be your locker this year. You'll make sure that you have your materials in there. Your book bag will be stationed near you in the classroom, so you have access to those things, but do not forget that anything that comes in that book bag must be school appropriate, and we will be searching book bags not only in the morning upon arrival, but throughout the school day. Now, the other subject that is near and dear to every middle schooler's heart is lunch. So let's talk about how lunch will look a little bit different this year. We will not be having lunch in the cafeteria. Students will be served their lunches in their classroom. You'll place your order. You'll choose your entree in the morning during your Core 1 class. And then at your designated lunchtime, the cafeteria will bring our lunch service kits to the classroom, and students will be served their prepackaged meal. Now, students still can bring lunch from home. All of our students receive free lunch here at Bessemer City Middle School. So you can have the school lunch, and if you choose, you can bring additional items to eat during your lunch block. But please make sure that those things are packaged in a way that is appropriate. We don't want whole gallons of apple juice or a family size bag of chips. Make it appropriate and manageable, but certainly we will not have the opportunity to buy those extra items that many of you have chosen to take advantage of in the past. So if you really have a big appetite and need something a little bit more than the standard lunch, you're more than welcome to bring some additional items from home if you choose. Also, another thing we would encourage each of you to bring is a water bottle throughout the school so that you can use that throughout the school day. There will be cups provided at the water fountain if you need a drink of water, but we would prefer to use our water fountains as water bottle fill stations. So if you have a water bottle you would like to bring so that you can have water throughout the day, you're more than welcome and certainly encouraged to do that. Also, as we approach the end of the day, dismissal is another thing that we need to discuss. So dismissal will begin at 3:15 for the first 2 weeks of school. The school day officially ends at 3:30, but we typically find that, especially even in a regular year, it takes us a little bit to get the routines down so that we are able to dismiss in a timely fashion. So with all the changes, we want to make sure that we're giving ourselves ample time to follow with the procedures of keeping everyone socially distanced and also making sure that they don't interact in a way that may spread germs. So we'll start a little bit early for the first 2 weeks, get our timing down, and then we'll move that back a little bit. So students will be called to their buses. We call the bus numbers, and then those students proceed to the gym where they will load their bus. There will be spots on the floor as to where students are to line up so that they're 6 feet apart. They'll be loaded one at a time so that they don't interact with each other and have that opportunity to spread germs. And anytime you have your student has the way in which they go home changed, for example, if they're a bus rider and you want to pick them up in a car, or they're a car rider and you have an emergency and they need to ride a bus, all of those changes must be made by a note, a handwritten note from the parent that has a phone number and a parent's signature on it. We do not take requests to change transportation over the phone, and that is to protect your child and to keep them safe. We don't want somebody saying, I'm going to pick them up in a car, and them not be someone who is approved to pick your child up. So please make sure that your child knows how they're getting home when they come to school every day. Also, our car riders will be called to the car rider line for dismissal as well. So we want to make sure that students are aware of what their car rider number is, and we will distribute those car rider numbers when we distribute schedules on August 11th. So please make sure that your child practice with them what their number is so that they'll be aware and listen so that they can come out as quickly as possible. As we talked earlier, one of the advantages of being in middle school is that we now get to take advantage of some extracurricular activities. And one of the things that students really enjoy are athletics. Whether they're participating as an athlete or they're coming as a spectator, it's a great social opportunity for students. Now, we do offer a number of sports here at Bessemer City Middle School, and our 6th graders can participate in all those sports except for football. So typical August sports are football, softball, cheerleading, and golf. Now, currently we are waiting for direction from the state to determine when those sports will start. As of this time, sports will be beginning on September 1st. If that changes, you will be notified. However, we hope to be able to have those sports seasons this year. But be thinking about what you might want to get involved in as a student. About October, we call these late fall sports. We have boys soccer, volleyball, and wrestling. In January, we do boys basketball, girls basketball, and cheerleading. And in March, we start baseball, girls soccer, boys track, and girls track. One thing for all students to remember is that grades, behavior, and attendance all matter when it comes to athletics. You have to make sure that you're maintaining good grades and passing your classes, that you do not have a large number of behavior referrals or office referrals, and that you're showing up every day. Because those are 3 things that oftentimes students don't get right that prevent them from being able to participate in sports. So we want you to have every opportunity available for you. So please make sure that you're making sure you're following along with all those. So that's all for our orientation information. I hope you have found this informative. I hope to see you on August 11th when we distribute schedules. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to give us a call at the school or look on our school website and contact us through email. Hope everyone has a fantastic day, and don't forget, at BCMS, we choose success. Have a great day, Tigers.